Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaykum, dear listeners. This is day 9 of Ramadan, and yesterday I briefly set out for you the ancient history of Riba. I'm going to continue with that topic, and today I'm going to tease out the spiritual and moral dimensions of the prohibition of Riba in the Qur'an. For those interested in the internal context of these verses, you can read section 6.2 of my PhD thesis, which was on Riba. I will read out the verses in chronological order. So this is the order in which they were revealed across the period of the Prophet's mission. The first revelation is in Surah Ar-Rūm. This is chapter 30, verse 39. That which you lay out for increase through the property for the people will have no increase with Allah, but that which you lay out for charity, seeking the countenance of Allah, will increase. It is these who will get a recompense multiplied. The second revelation is in Surah An-Nisa, this is chapter 4, verse 160 and 161. For the iniquity of the Jews, we made unlawful for them certain foods, good and wholesome, which had been lawful for them. In that they hindered many from Allah's way, that they took usury, though they were forbidden, and that they devoured men's substance wrongfully. We have prepared for those among them who reject faith a grievous punishment. The third revelation on Riba is in Surah Aal-e-Imrān. This is chapter 3, verse 130. O ye who believe, devour not usury, doubled and multiplied, but fear Allah, that ye may really prosper. And then the final set of verses is in a long discussion about this in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, and these are verses 275 to 81. Those who devour usury will not stand except as stand one whom the evil one by his touch has driven to madness. That is because they say, trade is like usury, but Allah has permitted trade and forbidden usury. Those who after receiving direction from their Lord desist shall be pardoned for the past. Their case is for Allah to judge, but those who repeat the offense are companions of the fire. They will abide therein forever. Allah will deprive usury of all blessing, but will give increase for deeds of charity, for He loveth not creatures ungrateful and wicked. Those who believe and do good deeds of righteousness and establish regular prayers and regular charity will have their reward with their Lord. On them shall be no fear, nor shall they grieve. O ye who believe, fear Allah and give up what remains of your demand for usury, if you are indeed believers. If you do it not, take notice of war from Allah and His Messenger, but if you turn back, you shall have your capital sums. Deal not unjustly, and you shall not be dealt with unjustly. If the debtor is in a difficulty, grant him time until it is easy for him to repay. But if you remit the debt by way of charity, that is best for you if you only knew. And fear the day when you shall be brought back to Allah. Then shall every soul be paid what it earned, and none shall be dealt with unjustly. In these 4 places in the Quran where Riba is mentioned, the full thematic paragraph includes the mention of infāq, or charity. Now here are the thematic paragraphs based on Maulana Amin Ahsan Islahi's method, so you can read them in full. In Surah Ar-Rūm, it would really benefit if you read from verses 30 to 39. Surah Ar-Rūm is chapter 30. In Surah An-Nisa, which is chapter 4, this discussion on Riba sits within verses 153 to 162. In Surah Aal-e-Imrān, which is chapter 3, this discussion sits within verses 130 to 143. And in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verses 261 to 274 have an extended discussion on infāq or charity. And these verses are then followed by the Riba verses that I just quoted to you. I agree with Maulana Amin Ahsan Islahi, with Dr. Fazlur Rahman and Dr. Abdullah Saeed, and the view that Riba is the opposite of infāq, sadaqah or charity. Maulana Islahi uses the term ziddain, or in Arabic you would use the duad, so in Urdu we use the word ziddain, or opposites. And he uses this word for Riba and infāq, and by that he means that Riba sits in stubborn opposition to charity. This opposition is in disagreement with the popular opinion that Riba is the opposite of sale. So traditionalists will always tell you that Riba is the opposite of sale, But when you read the Qur'an, you find out that the Qur'an always puts riba in opposition to charity or charitable behavior or infāq. In a nutshell, riba is the profit gained from exploitative loans that were given to people in need. At a spiritual level, engaging in riba corrupts the human mind because greed makes people oblivious to the pain they're causing. Riba cuts off the ties of empathy and kinship and contaminates human bonds with greed and oppression. It is for this reason that Allah dismisses the Quraysh's argument that riba is like trade and says that the argument that they're making is irrational. Now, this Ramadan series is not the place for me to work out the full legal implications of the explanation of riba that I've set out today, but I will inshallah develop a detailed series on this topic on my channel. The key reflection for today is that it is obligatory on us to be charitable to people in their moment of financial need, and we are forbidden from acting like parasitic usurers and extract profit from people who are in distress. Assalamu alaykum.